Hello everyone. So right now I'm going to be shooting into a very, very important and relevant video, especially if you suffer from anxiety, depression, automatic negative thoughts. You're beset by negative thoughts all the time, but really going to focus on anxiety right now. So, and depression as well, but anxiety. Anxiety. It's so prevalent in today's society. And it's really kind of a shame because if you have anxiety, what does that say about you? Well, all it really says to me is that your brain is generating anxious thoughts, negative thoughts. Your brain feels a sense of unease, and you assign this unease to all these thoughts you're having. Because, from my experience, one of the things I've noticed, because I've had anxiety before I've ever been diagnosed, but I've been in a very, very anxious state before for an extended period of time, months, and actually a year at one point is really bad. Um, and in that state, everything seemed like a threat to me. I had this constant sense of unease. I would have a negative thought and then it would latch onto it and it would elaborate into all these other negative thoughts and then I'd have these other negative thoughts and I'd have positive thoughts, but they'd almost seem not real. And what I noticed was that when I had anxiety and when I didn't have anxiety, I still have the same thoughts in some sense. Like I would still have good thoughts and bad thoughts, but because I had this negative feeling within my body and within my mind, I paid more attention to the negative thoughts. And then when I resolved my anxiety, I didn't really resolve the negative thoughts. I just made it so that I felt better in my body and in my mind. Excuse me, enjoying some seltzer here. So I made it so I felt better in my body and in my mind. Because I felt better in my body and in my mind, when I had those negative thoughts, I'd be like, that's a negative thought, whatever. And I have a positive thought, I'd be like, yeah, positive thoughts. Yeah, like, so it was really that, not that I was having too many negative thoughts or not having enough positive thoughts, it was really that because I had this negative state within myself, I would give more credence to things that felt bad because I was like, well, I feel bad, so therefore things must be bad. And I'd pay attention to things that, and thoughts that provided evidence that things were bad. And I would ignore evidence that things were good. Um, so, for instance, you can see this in a personal relationship. If your spouse comes home and gives you a hug and kiss, and then like goes off, and then like they're making dinner, and you call them from another room, and they don't hear you, or they call you, they're like, "Hey, I'm busy, just like not right now." You could be like, "Oh, they don't want to talk to me, they don't like me," but it's like, no, they just came in, they gave you a hug and a kiss. Why are you assigning more relevance to this particular thing than this other thing? It's just because you have this negative state within yourself. If you have a good feeling within your body, you'll ignore the negative and focus on the positive. Funny enough, causing that positive to increase in your life. But if you have negative feelings in your body, you'll focus on the negative and you'll cause that negative to increase in your life as well. So ultimately, if you have anxiety and depression, these sorts of phenomena, these mood disorders, these negative feelings within yourself that become spirals of negative thoughts and ultimately can ruin our lives, it's very real if you're experiencing that. What you should do is, in my opinion, you shouldn't really try to solve it at the level of thoughts because you're just thinking. It's like Einstein said, you cannot solve a problem at the level of thinking that created the problem. So people will often turn to medications, and I think medications can be very helpful in very specific instances with people who have no other options or they're unresponsive to a variety of other things that they tried first. But the thing that worked for me was looking at my diet. I said, okay, what am I deficient in? Because ultimately, fun fact, we actually need certain vitamins and minerals to produce serotonin and dopamine and to get rid of cortisol. Cortisol being the stress hormone, serotonin and dopamine being the primary neurotransmitters that make us feel good. So, vitamin C, salt, magnesium, B vitamins, these are actually necessary biochemically to remove cortisol from our bodies. If you don't have enough salt, if you don't have enough magnesium, if you don't have enough vitamin C, if you don't have enough B vitamins, then you actually can't get rid of cortisol. Your body just lacks the machinery to do it without those vitamins and minerals. And if you can't get rid of cortisol, cortisol is just going to build up. And cortisol is the neurochemical basis for stress. So you're going to have this negative feeling within you, and you're going to be unable to get rid of it because your body lacks the nutrients necessary to do that, and also lacks the nutrients necessary to produce serotonin and dopamine. So if we turn to our diets, we say, okay, well, maybe we're deficient in things, but maybe we're also consuming large amounts of caffeine, artificial sweeteners, processed sugars, and garbage foods. And these garbage foods are causing us to have, it's causing our brains to not work ultimately. Like artificial sweeteners, from my personal experience and the experience of many of my clients, are absolutely poison. They are poison for your mind. Like, many people, and myself included, have experienced extreme caffeine dependency. And what happens is the energy drink thing. So you're drinking energy drinks, and then like a few hours later, you're like, oh, I need another energy drink. Drinking an energy drink. A few hours later, you're like, yeah, I need another energy drink. And you end up getting your caffeine consumption up to something like 700 milligrams a day, absurd amounts of caffeine or more. And this taxes all of your electrolytes and nutrients and all that stuff, but it's not even that you need that much caffeine or you even want that much caffeine. What happens is the artificial sweeteners are acting like a drug on your brain. And then your brain actually starts withdrawing from the artificial sweeteners long before it starts withdrawing from the caffeine. So you'll interpret artificial sweetener withdrawal as caffeine withdrawal and then keep consuming more caffeine. What I recommend to my clients is that they switch over to coffee, organic coffee, or caffeine pills. And by doing that, they can often just half their caffeine intake. They can go from 400 milligrams to 200 milligrams, and they feel better. They have less anxiety. Their brain works better, and they're like, holy cow, I feel great. There's a little bit of a detox period because you are withdrawing from these artificial sweeteners. They're terrible for you. But after like a day or two, you're just like, whoa, I feel way better. Take half the amount of caffeine, and it works for twice as long. What's going on here? Especially if you're taking salt, magnesium, vitamin C, B vitamins, and a little bit of tyrosine. Like, what's going on here? It's like, well, you simply stop poisoning your mind with these additional chemicals that you didn't even want in the first place. They're just added to this stuff because it makes it very addictive. So if you're suffering from anxiety, you should really look at what you're consuming and say, am I getting enough nutrients? Specifically salt, magnesium, vitamin C, B vitamins. And if I'm not, try that. I mean, go to your local Whole Foods, get some magnesium glycinate, make some salt pills, drink some salty water, make some electrolyte water, drink that. Take some B vitamins, take a little bit of vitamin C, and see if you feel better. Oftentimes you'll feel significantly better, and you'll stop latching onto these negative thoughts because the feelings in your body of stress have gone away. Because we can often think that the thoughts are causing the feelings of stress, but in my experience, thoughts just come and go, and we latch onto them based on the feelings we have within our body. I hope this has been useful for you. Done.